Welcome to this video. This video is brought to you by TBB Contact 3. Our motto is they want you to be silent and we want you to be loud. This story is being brought up because of the docu-series. We talk about it all the time, but of course, the docu-series involving R. Kelly called Surviving R. Kelly has given us a giant platform to discuss predatory behaviors, and we're going to talk a little bit about sex trafficking as well. Also, we want to make sure you know that there are books available to help with this. We do have Hurt People, Help People, and also the Body Book. It's the same book, it just has two different covers. It is available on Amazon. You can purchase on Amazon, you can download it to your Kindle, or you can buy the paperback. So let's get into our discussion about R. Kelly, parents, predators, sex trafficking. Hello. I am back. Me and this natural hair, honey. Anyway, let's get to talking about this R. Kelly situation. So we have R. Kelly that we want to talk about, and also sex trafficking. Now, Essence, I believe, is posting about R. Kelly. The Shade Room is posting about R. Kelly. We're talking about R. Kelly. So I thought it was important for me to jump on here and talk to you guys a little bit about R. Kelly. The mom recently released a statement and said, hey, basically it was like hey, leave my baby alone. Don't tarnish her name. The person that made the report or contributed to the story, who said she saw R. Kelly doing something inappropriate to Aaliyah on the tour bus, she was saying all of that is just false information. No one should believe it. Such is the case, whatever. So there's just a couple of things that I want to touch on, because it's public knowledge that R. Kelly did marry Aaliyah, right? That's public knowledge, right? Everybody talks about that. That's just a part of what we know about the Aaliyah and R. Kelly situation. We know that false documents, according to articles that have been written, we know that false documents were created to make it appear that she was 18 years old. So a lot of people have questions like, who do we blame? Did Aaliyah want R. Kelly? All kinds of things. So let me break it down. Let me break it down on how this actually works. So how it actually works is the adult, no matter who it is, the adult who does the act is the guilty party, okay? The adult, the grown person who does the act is the guilty party, okay? Now, other people may be guilty along with that person, okay? The staff, the other grown-ups on the tour bus, her parents, if they knew that he was dating her, other grown-ups, other people can have a play in it and be responsible for it as well. But doesn't stop the fact that R. Kelly crossed the line when he engaged in sexual activity with Aaliyah. Now, some people are like, well, he married her. The parents must have knew. What I just tell you, doesn't matter. Still doesn't stop the fact that R. Kelly, who was an adult, entered into a sexual relationship, which is a crime, with a child. Doesn't negate that. Okay, he paid the family. Doesn't negate that. Doesn't take that fact away. Doesn't take the fact away that he was adult, who engaged in sex with a minor, which is a crime. You understand? No matter what you say, it does not take away from the fact that it is a crime for an adult to engage in sexual activity with a child. You can say, well, I hear a lot of people randomly, if you're talking about a random person and not Aaliyah, oh, that girl, she 15, she done had sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry. Was Tom, Dick, and Harry, was she 13, 14, 15, 16, and Tom, Dick, and Harry was 18, 21, 25, 35? Because if she had sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry and they were above her age, if it was a crime by law, then Tom, Dick, and Harry should all be going to jail. Do y'all understand that? We've got this thing in our head where we think children can make decisions about sexual behavior, and they cannot. The adult is the one that is responsible for any sexual behavior that takes place when a child is a minor. Period. Period. You can't throw in there, oh, the child wanted it. You can't do that. The child wanted to have sex with an adult. Are you listening to that? That girl wanted that man. Did the man not know she was a child? There's no magic in the air. There's no, I walk by you, your penis becomes erect and you can't help but to stick it in me. That's not out there in the air. This is not the Bird Box, okay? So everybody is responsible for their actions. If you take an action that is a crime against a child, you are subject to criminal sentencing and judgment. Now, just like with the Bill Cosby situation and the R. Kelly situation, I went back and read some court documents and some articles about the case. Everybody knows he had money. He basically got away with it. And now let me inform you on how that can happen. Because a lot of people just be like, oh, he paid him off. Let me explain something and be very clear about getting paid off. Okay? When it comes to having a case against somebody, which is a sexual assault case, anytime somebody has raped you, sodomized you, whatever they did to you in a sexually inappropriate way, you only got a couple things going for you. Either you videotaped it, or you somehow messaged them, and there's an exchange of digital or material, text messages, visual. There's either audio or visual to support what you're claiming if you have no DNA, okay? So DNA becomes contaminated after 72 hours. You got 3 days. If you don't contain the DNA, it's contaminated. So that's why a lot of people who are victims of sexual assault have a hard time proving their case, because the evidence is literally destroyed in terms of DNA within 3 days. So if you don't have anything visual or audio or a witness, you're done. It's hard to prove. You can show up to court with scratches. You can show up to court with, unless you got a bite mark and it matches the person's teeth print. If you don't show up with DNA, visual, audio, witness, and believe it or not, those things are hard to come by. So the best thing to do is to do a rape kit as soon as possible. Don't take a shower. Don't take a bath. Don't take a wash up. Don't clean yourself up. I know it sounds disgusting. I know it is definitely the hardest thing not to do in the world, because after I was raped, I bleached myself, like literally bleach in the tub, and I did it for weeks. So, even my mom was like, why are you using that bleach? She didn't know I had got raped. So I was using that bleach, honey. The whole house smelled like bleach. So listen, you have 3 days to contain the DNA, or it is contaminated, okay? Then you have to try to find a witness. Did anybody see it? Did they tell anybody? Did you tell anybody immediately after it happened? Because that's what they're going to be going for. Then you have blah, 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 blah. Do you have a video or audio? Now we have text messages and these smartphones and all this good stuff. So do you have a record, some type of record of the incident? So when it comes to R. Kelly, when he went to court, you have a mom there and you have a child there, but do you have any contained DNA? Okay? Do you have any witnesses who's going to come and speak on behalf of the child? Okay? Now, do you have any audio or any videos, any visuals, any pictures you took right after it happened? Anything like that? Do you have anything? Now, a lot of people say, well, if they got raped, that's the first thing I would have did. Well, can you tell me why the majority of the time that's not what women do? It's not. After you've been raped, the first thing you want to do is get clean, get lost, isolate yourself in the house. Your whole world has just flipped upside down. Okay? So a lot of people think that's the thing that people do. Most of the time they don't. That's just common knowledge. You can read any book. You can study any data. You can do any research. You're going to find out the same thing I'm telling you right now. However, we do need to change that, but we can only change that through education, like what I'm providing for you right now. I'm going to try to switch this around because if I don't, my power's going to go out, and then this whole thing will be over. So let me see. Oh, the course, plenty long. It's long enough. So you got to think about that. So as we move into 2019, my question for a lot of people is exactly how smart, how knowledgeable of you, because I hear a lot of people talking, but I don't hear a lot of people talking. Oh, Jesus. I don't hear a lot of people talking who have knowledge. I know you don't have knowledge. I know you don't have knowledge because of the way you respond. I know you don't have knowledge because of the questions that you ask, and that's okay. That's completely okay. But I just want you to know that in 2019, there is no reason why you should not. And I'm more than happy to educate you. Super happy. And I'm telling you, there's no reason why we should not have this information. Now, in speaking of the R. Kelly situation, one person was like, you know, I don't believe these stories and the girls wanted it, and you're getting caught all up in that. But like I said, the thing you need to be thinking about that I wrote under the post, the thing you need to be thinking about is how do you protect your child? Okay? Aaliyah's mom can come on live. She can write an article. She can say all she wants to say. But we all know he married her daughter at 15 years old, right under her nose. She said she was on the bus 24/7. How many of you know? Huh? You were a teenager. Come on now, let's just be real. How many of you know it's 8 hours in a night, okay? A mom and dad can go to bed at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Child can pop right up out that bed, jump out the window. Spend 4 nights and 4 hours in the bed with somebody else, drag right back through that same window, okay? Get right in that bed, sleep for 4 hours, pop up and go to school like ain't nothing just happened. So for the parents to say they were with her for 24 hours, 24/7, you got to eat, you got to pee. You ain't chained to the child. It's plenty of time. Plenty. I mean, you got to think about it. You and your spouse can be married, right? Y'all with each other all the time. And then your friend can be married, right? And y'all spend all y'all time together, right? When she come over to the house, you got your eyeball on her. And then you find out 2 years later, her and your husband been sleeping together for the last 2 years. How does that happen? You was with her all the time, or either you was with your husband. How did they find the time? People find time to do stuff they ain't got no business. They find the time. They find 2 hours in the day. They find 2 hours in the week. They find a day in the week. They find a way. They say, hey, we going to the mall. Oh, we're going to take her to the mall. Oh, okay. Oh, she got lost in the mall. Okay, lost in the mall is an hour in the car, 30 minutes in the car, 15 minutes in the car, whatever it is in the car, in the back seat, in the back of that SUV, in the back of that van. It is what it is. So I don't know. I know for a fact that a child can get away from a parent because I was a child and you were a child. And, you know, some of you may have not been in that type of environment or snuck away. I'm not saying you snuck away to have sex. Maybe you just snuck away because you wanted to hang out with your friends, right? I had times when I wanted to hang out with my friends and I would be like, oh, I'm going over to my friend's house, get the friend mama who was cool to say, yeah, I'm going to be at her house. But yeah, we over there, but her mom drink. So her mom is out. So her mom sleep about 7 o'clock, drunk, pass out. We out the door. Or we invite somebody over or doing whatever. Ain't not to say we was having sex, but we kicking it. We got time because of the situation. So you got to think about that. So when they say, when the parents say we had our eye on her 24/7, basically they're saying, hey, we knew her schedule. We were pretty much there with her all the time. I get that. But there's no way you were there 24/7. That's like an impossibility. She would have to have been chained to you when you fell asleep at night. Somebody would have been watching her, right? And even with that, if your eyes got a little droopy and she had a friend that kind of looked like her that could put on the same clothes, she had that friend to come in. I'm just saying, I ain't saying nothing extreme like that happened. What I'm saying is that I get what the parents are saying, but I also get the fact that regardless to how you try to watch your child, when a predator is on their trail, the predator, and this is why I don't want us to be dumb in 2019. The predator knows all the tricks of the trade. He knows how to get this person to do things for him. Hey, why don't you get her and take her to the mall and say you going shopping with her, or to get her hair done. Okay, so we know her hair done is a 4-hour thing for black folks. So did she get her hair done in 2 hours, but you had her for 5 or 4 hours away from, away? Those are the types of things you got to think about. But my main point with all of this is you've got to think about how predators work. That's what I want us to focus on. Don't focus on, you can look at, try to find out the facts of, did R. Kelly do it or not? Well, we know he married a 15-year-old. That solves the whole mystery for me. But how is it when we talk about these teachers, when we talk about these pastors, when we talk about R. Kelly's, when we talk about Weinstein, when we talk about Epstein, when we talk about Donald Trump, who was accused of raping a 13-year-old, when we talk about sex trafficking, and I'm going to get into sex trafficking in a minute, how is it, though, first, that these people that we are closely connected with, that we have a relationship with, that we trust, right, that our children spend very limited time around, how is it that these people are able to penetrate into the lives of our children, okay, get them to manipulate them to the point where they're willing to and they deceive their parents, okay, participate in the whole lie? That's what I want you to look at, because your child is just a child. I don't care if they 17, 16, 15, 13, 12, 9, whatever. Your child is just a child. Do not victimize your child. The child molester, the predator, is the person we got a problem with. So how does this person operate? Again, we want to thank you so much for watching this video. Part 2 is also on YouTube as well. So you can follow up with the second video, which is the part 2. Again, the books are available on Amazon.com. You can purchase the books from there. You can also go to my website, which is kvdevelopments.com. You can purchase from the website, which is really just going to redirect you back to Amazon. Sometimes people have a hard time finding it on Amazon. So if you go to my website, it has a direct link. That's kvdevelopments.com. And thank you so much. And please watch part 2. Thank you. And remember, they want you to be silent, but we want you to be loud.